Hello, good morning or afternoon. It's Adonis here. Just wanted to make a video. What I've currently been dealing with the past week or two. So it's regarding identity. Fun topic, right? It's just one of those things where you ever feel like you outgrown who you are, but you keep acting like the same person. You know, that's me in a nutshell right now. It's like for me, I've been feeling stuck in an old version of myself, wanting to be better, wanting to change who I am, but still having the same routine, still doing the same old things, right? Although mindset has changed. My my habits, my routines, things I do, they're comfortable, but they're not something that's gonna help me grow, and that's what I've been dealing with. In the mornings, I wake up and it's the same routine. Come back home, same routine. Even though I want to change, I've only made very slightly changes to my habits, my routines, on a daily basis, right? And in doing so, I'm dealing with like a conflict where it's not just about changing behavior. It's about killing off parts of myself I kept alive out of fear in a way. It, like I don't want to kill my old self, but in order for you to have a new identity, you have to, all right? And it's hard. No one says it's easy, and that's the thing is staying the same feels safe. It's all right? But it's also killing you and your potential. You want to be a millionaire. You want to make six figures. You want to own a business. You want to do this and this and that. But if you're the same person, if the old version of you couldn't do what you want to do now, what's what's gonna make the old version become what you want to be now? You have to change, right? It's one of those things where like progress requires some sort of like ego, like a death of ego, right? In order to shift, who do you think you are, right? Because you being the same person, wanting to strive to be a better person, but not taking the steps to get to that point. I mean, you're just delaying the inevitable. And that's one of the things that one of the major things I've been dealing with right now. It's obtaining these information, this different mindset, but not changing, like not clinging off the old me, right? It's 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 trying to embrace that discomfort, something that you haven't dealt with, the unknown, and leaning into uncertainty. And that's the thing; it's hard because all you know is being comfortable, being in areas of certainty, and then going into an area of uncertainty. It's just comfortable, you don't people don't like it. But the thing is, identity isn't fixed. It's built upon small, repeated actions that lead into a new identity. So, like for me, wanting to change all of a sudden, that's not going to work. I'm going to. It's kind of like a habit where like if you go on a diet, you might want to go on a diet, but only stay on that diet for a week or two, 3 weeks, and then go back to your routine, right? Because you try to make all these big changes. No, not everyone can do that, right? It's something you have to take small little actions. Maybe do something a little bit different in the morning. Do something a little bit different at night. You know, your days off that compound into becoming a different person, right? And instead of waking up and going on your phone immediately, maybe you say, hey, maybe have a timer, have an app, something that prevents you from, accessing certain apps within the first half hour waking up, right? Or limiting your time on apps, stuff like death scrolling, which I admit I've done it, and I still do, unfortunately, right? Put limitations to where it's like, okay, you know, it's another barrier instead of no barriers, adding barriers, that habits, it's easier to, fit in terms of your daily habits because like, oh, if every day you're always hitting the max, it's like now you gotta go in and like grant yourself more access, more time. That's more work, right? Eventually, like you hit that limit, and you're like, okay, it is what it is for the day, right? Like for me, one of my small little habits I've changed is I've it to where my phone at 10 p.m. it's pretty much no access to the apps, right? I can still like put in my timer, to sleep and everything for the following morning, my alarm clock. But besides that, like after 10, no phone, right? Just to help me because I don't sleep very well, so just kind of like less blue light. But that's something small action I've taken to where now in my mentally, in my brain, once it's 10, no phone, get off the computer. Either I just read or just brush my teeth and go to sleep, right? Just a small habit, right? And you know, these small little changes, if it can help me, it can help you, right? But you gotta understand that it's gonna take some time, and you have to create some sort of system to keep it in place, to keep track of it. Otherwise, if it's kind of, you're like, oh, I'll do it today, and then I'll do it the next day or whatever. Usually, you're gonna fall off, right? It's a matter of having systems in place. After a certain time, this kicks in, right? This setting clicks in, or having someone be on top of you, friend or family member, like, hey, after this time, come, got to get off or do this and that. But um, for me, in order for me to change my identity, who I am, and who I want to become in the future, I have to take small steps. Whether it's going to the unknown, the discomfort of doing things I don't want to do, but I know that I have to do them. It's a challenge. So, um, and I want to end it off here saying, you don't need a new plan. You just need a new identity. So, thank you for watching. If you have your own systems or experiences, I would love to hear them in the comments below. Love to go back and forth with you. But thank you. Take care. Have a good day. Bye.